So it looks like we are now live. So thank you, families, again for coming in and joining us for a Dragon Lair Cafe. This evening we have Roberto Rivas from MAD. He's a volunteer resource coordinator, if I remember correctly, and will be talking to us about how to talk with your mid-schooler and high schooler about alcohol. There are some resources. They are posted in the description of the video for your access after the fact, and also if you're joining us this evening, in the description of the video here on YouTube, you will find a link to a Google form where you can submit any questions that we will answer during the session. So for now, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Roberto.
So yeah, like he had said, I'm Roberto Rivas. I'm with the Mothers Against Drunk Driving New Mexico chapter. Here's my email right on the screen. And I also run the two underage drinking programs. We have Power of Youth, and then what we're doing a workshop for today is our Power of Parents program. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So, we like to start every program with a mission moment, and it kind of reminds us why we're talking about the prevention of underage drinking in the real life families that have been affected. So I have a story for you today about Casey Taylor, and I'm going to read you some words from his mother, Debbie. Casey, my eldest, was what you call a good kid. On the honor roll, in the marching band, choir, he wrestled and played football. Casey's father had a drinking problem, and Casey knew it contributed to our divorce. That gave me a false sense of security. I believed he had seen the problems alcohol could cause and was mature enough to handle drinking, but I was wrong. Casey was 18 the night he and his friends stopped at a drive-up liquor establishment that didn't card underage buyers. They bought rum and decided it would be fun to see how much just one person could chug. Unfortunately, that person was Casey. Around noon the next day, a police officer came to my door to tell me Casey was dead. It took 2 days for the coroner to confirm that Casey's blood alcohol content was 0.41, more than 5 times the drunk driving limit for an adult. If I had to do it all over again, I would have made my message very clear. When I found out that Casey had that bottle of rum hidden in his garage, I would not have thrown it away and said nothing like I did. I would have taken it out, set it on our kitchen counter, and we would have discussed why I did not want him drinking. I would have spoken to him about alcohol far more often. So, MAD's mission is to create a future with no more victims. And our work is evident through our 4 mission areas: to end drunk driving, to help fight drug driving, to support the victims of this violent crime, and to prevent underage drinking. And as I talked about it, we have our 2 programs specifically for the prevention of underage drinking. And MAD recognizes that it takes both parents and teens to tackle this problem and to be a part of the solution. So today we're focused on the Power Parents program, and we're going to talk about the following things: problem and consequences of underage drinking, and marijuana use for that matter, the role of teens, friends, and peers, the roles of adults, the role of parents, and most importantly, what you can do today, tomorrow, and in the future to help keep your kids safe. So more than anything, we want to reinforce that you have the power to make a difference. Always want to shout out our sponsors. So shout out to Nationwide. They do a lot of the research. They fund a lot of the research that goes into this program. So we're very appreciative of Nationwide. So thank you so much.
Roberto, if I could just jump in for a quick second. If we just got a report of a little bit low volume.
Okay, let me see if I can, maybe like right here.
There you go. Yeah, that makes a difference for sure.
Wonderful,
awesome.
Wonderful. Sorry.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have my mic up here, and who knows where. We're good now. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Yeah. So parents often rank drugs as more dangerous than alcohol, but not contrary to popular belief, alcohol is in fact a drug. Just because it's legal for us to purchase it doesn't mean that it's not a drug. And alcohol is the drug most commonly used by youth, more than tobacco and more than marijuana or any other illicit drug combined. And it's killing more than 4,300 youth every year. Teen drug use often starts with alcohol, and it's often abused in combination with alcohol. While our focus today is on teen drinking, the tips and information that we're going to talk about are good for all other forms, marijuana, vaping, everything. Oddly enough, the latest research shows that kids start to consider the pros and cons of drinking as early as age 8, which is kind of staggering to think about that young that they'd be thinking about it. National surveys show that the younger people are when they first become intoxicated, the greater the likelihood they will have alcohol dependence when they grow older, in college, and the greater likelihood that they might engage in risky behaviors while they're, such as driving and drinking. Maybe even something not always considered about is being the passenger to a drinking driver, which is a whole nother risk altogether that's not always commonly thought about. And we just want to reinforce that the human brain's not fully developed until the mid-20s. And the frontal and prefrontal cortex, for judgment, planning, and also there's a section of the brain for executive function, things like multitasking, driving, that's definitely not fully developed until the mid-20s.
Roberto, if I could just interrupt again while you had that previous slide up. I know we just recently met, and this presentation is typically geared for the adolescent students, middle school and high school, but we are a K-8 school, so we have very young students actually, at or near the age of 8. So that was this particular slide kind of hit me as a piece of information that really all of our families should become familiar with, because 8 is what, third grade, right around the third grade.
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about. And I'll be honest. Before I started, doing these programs, I had no idea that it could be, at such a young age.
Right, and we have all of our own experiences. Like, I think back to trying to think about what I was thinking about at 8, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't alcohol.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what stick I could hit my brother with. Definitely not alcohol, but just internet and then social media just weren't quite as common.
Right. So that was an interesting statistic to see. So I just wanted to jump in on that. Thank you.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. No problem at all. So you might be primarily concerned about alcohol in your teenagers as it relates to driving and drinking. As you might even think that Matt is, as we're Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and that's a totally valid concern. But keep in mind that 2/3, or roughly 68% of underage drinking-related deaths are due to incidents other than traffic-related causes. So you've got all the little pie graph for you right there. So alcohol contributes to deaths resulting from homicides, suicides, alcohol, and other poisonings, drowning, fires, and falls. It's dangerous and also illegal for teens to consume alcohol, even if they're not driving. So as a parent, simply taking away the keys doesn't necessarily take away the risk. And the role of adults. There's adults who think that allowing kids to drink in small amounts of alcohol in the home will teach them to drink safely, or kind of get rid of the mystery. And I feel like this was a little more common when I was growing up. I swear I'm not that old. Just because I'm bald doesn't mean I'm super old. I'm only 25, promise. I'll be 26 this year. But that happened when I was growing up, and I feel like the common world, it's not as common as it was before. That it might take away the mystery, desire to drink. That it's not a big deal to give them a little bit on a special occasion, and that it happened when I was growing up, so I'm okay, and they'll be okay too. But decades of research consistently prove, like we had talked about earlier, that the younger the age that you have your first drink, the more likely that you are to have alcohol dependence, later binge drinking, and throughout multiple studies, it shows that kids who are permitted to drink in their homes drink more often and in larger amounts outside of the home when their parents aren't around, and they experience more serious problems. There's no other drug that adults would consider giving to your kid, in a supervised setting to reduce the risk. Like, oh, hey, like let's let Jimmy try out heroin or something like that. But we don't always think of alcohol in the same realm as other drugs. Again, because we had talked about earlier in the presentation, just because it's legal doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't harmful. You can't teach your kid or teen how to drink responsibly. Remember, we had talked about earlier that 1 in 8 teens binge drink, but only 1 in 100 parents believe his or her child binge drinks, so math doesn't necessarily add up. So many parents don't see the importance of talking to their kids about alcohol. Research supports the idea that parent communication about alcohol can have a massive impact on the prevention and reduction of underage drinking. 3 out of 4 teens from, I believe, a 2016 study stated that their parents were the leading influence on their decision about drinking. You have more influence than you think when it comes to what your kids are deciding to do. Not with just alcohol, but especially with alcohol. And that's why Matt partnered with Dr. Roberto Rivas from Pennsylvania State University to adapt his research to empower parents to have effective conversations with their middle and high schoolers, and even before that, now that we're talking about the 8-year-olds, about drinking. His original handbook was shown to reduce underage drinking by up to 30% among college freshmen whose parents read and used the handbook. And here's a quick overview of some of the topics that we have in the handbook today, as he had mentioned in the description already. 100% free. It might ask for an email, but you don't have to put it in. You can just swap between through it and just check out the pages. A lot of great information. And our goal is not to judge you or tell you how to parent whatsoever. The handbooks do not represent anyone's individual biases. Rather, they're just a compilation of 2 decades worth of research to provide you with information to help keep your kids safe. So, to close, hopefully you've taken some time to check out the handbook. And And it's worth it, and it 100% works, and it's free. And if you haven't started talking to your kids about alcohol, start now. Plan to have your first conversation with your kids, maybe even tonight at dinner. And remember to talk early, even starting at age 8, and keep talking through middle school, keep talking through high school. Frequency matters. And finally, you do have the power to make a difference and to keep your kids safe. And really great note to close on. Your teens are listening. What are you saying? So thanks again for having me, and for allowing me to share Mad's resources. I really appreciate it. There's my contact info there at the bottom left. Again, I'm Roberto Rivas, the Volunteer Resource Coordinator here with Mad New Mexico. And I'll hang out for a little while, see if we have any questions, hopefully that I can answer. Not a trained medical professional, but I will do my best.
That's a good disclaimer, because I'm sure you have some experience of some pretty interesting questions coming at you. I'll hit you with this one. Is there any partnership between MAD and counselors at schools? We have a great counseling team over at Academy K8, and just wondering if there's like official partnerships between school counselors and MAD, and if so, what kind of resources maybe do you guys work on together?
So, not that I know of, at least not here in New Mexico, but it's something that at least I personally, with here in New Mexico, I've been working on. As you know, I work with Deanna Valdez at Valley High School, and I've been trying to get more and more involved, because especially counselors of all types, even if it's not, say, a Crossroads counselor, are usually one of the biggest windows, as we had like talked about earlier in the presentation. Talking about like trusted adults. I feel like counselors are often like the teacher, or well, not necessarily the teacher, but the adult, like kind of in a academic sense, who can really connect with teens. So it's been something that I've been working on, and I think that kind of window into their lives is super duper important.
Okay. With providing resources, I guess kind of along in that same line, is MAD just a provider of educational resources, presentations, materials to help families, or do they have kind of a network of people that they refer out to if a family is experiencing, difficulties around alcohol?
I think it's generally so. At least for my programs, it starts with mostly just like the information and research, and I feel like Power of Youth and Power of Parents are more so, just more like preventative. But
Gotcha.
MAD definitely has a bunch of programs. We have victim service. We have everything. I mean, as you know, like it's weird to think about just how long MAD's been around. I mean, technically before I was born. But there's just so many different wings of it. And there's definitely a bunch of resources for victims of drunk driving, for underage drinking, everything like that. Like even here in New Mexico, we've got a bunch of awesome programs that are doing great. We have our victim impact panels. We have our victim service team. We're doing. There's some great work going on.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, the hope truly is that the prevention works, right? Avoid a tragedy rather than having to deal with a tragedy. So thank you very much for your presentation today, and the great materials that you shared with us. I was able to go through them. It's good digital presentation. The links for the middle school and high school flip books, digital flip books, are linked again in the description. And again, you take questions and I guess just questions via email through the email that's posted on the presentation here. Yeah.
And then another thing to always add I always forget is that we also offer, to set up to be trained to do these types of presentations as a facilitator, whether it be for both Power Parents and Power of Youth. If anyone's interested in maybe getting involved with your local MAD chapter, that's a great option. Feel free to send me an email or give us a call at any time if anybody's interested. Great resume booster for your teens, or maybe it's just something that if you find yourself very passionate, you think you could do a better job than me. Very good chance of that. I get a little nervous when I turn the camera on, but I would love to have people involved. So feel free to hit me up.
No, it was a great presentation. Very thankful that we were able to get connected, and very thankful that you were able to make the time to do this with us. Hoping that you may be able to do it again second semester. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, would love to, for sure.
That'd be awesome. I'd like to thank all the families that joined us, either live or after the fact. If you are a Facebook user, go ahead and connect with MAD via Facebook. If you have any additional questions, again, feel free to reach out to Roberto via the email up on the screen. And for tonight, I'll say thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the next Dragon Lair Cafe. Thank you again, Roberto. Very much appreciate it.
Thanks for having me again. Really appreciate it. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.